everyone, how are you doing? I hope you guys are doing great. Happy Friday, wherever you are. And because I'm still having some technical issues with my sound, I hope you all are hearing me. But this is all welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Polo. So wherever you are having a great day, and you are having a better day than I am with this sound. Anyways, as you know, we are at the Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, baby, Mama, Gloria, Polo, Guy, the all here and Nicholas Beauty. And so, again, a Padres. If you're in the chat, a lot of my friends are already in the chat. If you can let me know if you can hear me. And again, I am kind of going blind with the sound. I'm going to pull the sound down as I'm just realizing because I can't hear it. I just realized like the sound is still up, way up. So I'm going to pull this all down and hopefully it wasn't too loud. Yeah. Yesterday I realized at the end because I couldn't hear it, I was playing the wrong thing. And it's just like, oh, this is a mess. So anyways, if you can let me know if you can hear me as I let's see, Church Ellie was telling me the sound is louder than my voice. Yeah, so I turned it down. Thank you guys so much. Again, I am going blind at the flying blind with my sound at the moment, and I cannot hear myself and I can't hear the sound. I don't know why that is because I'm using the mic and I plugged into the mic as usual, but I can't hear anything. And so I am just gonna so I didn't know it was up that loud. So sorry. sorry. I apologize. So I'm assuming I've taken it down. So hopefully all of that is okay. Again, I can't hear it. So let me just look and make sure that it is out. Yeah, know thyself. Yep, it is down. Everything is down. So you should be hearing me perfectly fine now. Anyways, welcome to Facts and Two Cents, my friends. Let me see who else is in the chat. I see Church Nelly is in the chat. And let's see who else is here as I scroll up. Awesome. Lydia Washington, our other awesome moderator, is here. And Nella Thunder is here. And Karen Emma, awesome moderator, is here. And Fatu. Hello, Fatu. Let's see who else is here. And Trish Nelly reminding us, so please, yes, like and subscribe and share and donate. She's like, the real money, not monopoly money. I love it. Oh, enjoy the membership. Thank you so much, Church Nelly. I love this. Thank you so much for reminding everyone. As you can see the little scrolly thing there. And also click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video. So you can just tune right in. Sometimes my schedule is a little crazy, so I don't have an appointed time. I'm trying to stay around this time between like 11:30, 12:30, around this area as much as I can with my very crazy schedule. So I'm very happy that I've been able to do that the last couple of days. Have a more of a regular schedule. Joyce is here and Black Queen is here. Hello. Chody says he is here. Where you are there? There you are there. Dolores is here. Hello, Dolores. Who else is here? Sonia is here. Hello, Sonia. And Rochelle. And B2B Field N. Hello, how are you? And Victoria Fabre. Hello, Victoria. And Sharon is here. Sharon Augustine and Mira and Emma Day and Anita and Brenda. I think I just said Sharon Augustine. I said you already. Oh, Razora is here. Hello, Razora. And Mad World is here. And so everyone else, what is this? T thing it maiden? I think I'm saying that right. Hello, I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome. Um, oh, she says, I thought the music was my PC. I'm hunting. I'm hunting for an open window. Sigh. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Again, when you fly blind with these things. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Thank you guys for helping me. I appreciate it. But amazing, amazing. As the title said, our fave is out there doing amazing things. Oh my goodness. I am so proud of this man. And Spare is doing amazing within 24 hours. Spare is number one. I mean, I have, I don't normally follow books and, when it's number one. The only time I really ever follow this stuff is when Meghan was doing the bench. Before that, not really. I wasn't paying attention to what's number one and what's not. And only with the bench have I really been paying attention. And so it is amazing. As you can see, this is from Amazon. It is the number one bestseller, as you can see on the right, the middle one, number one in new releases, number one in movers and shakers. I'm telling you, the Spare is doing amazing. I don't know how fast books normally get to number one. Again, as I said, I hadn't really paid attention, but this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. There it is. Prince Harry sitting atop. Now there are two number one bestsellers in the same household, and Shutter Island is they're falling off of a cliff right now and twisting themselves in knots, and all the knickers are in a twist, and pearls are clutching, and incandescent ones throwing things and plates and stuff across the room, and everything else they're doing over there. And you know what? I just love that for them. I really just love that for them. And I am like, Prince Harry, oh my goodness. Because there was this thing, especially with it being released in January, that's not normally a time that you would release a book. And it's, you want to release it now because of the rush. People are buying Christmas gifts, or, after Thanksgiving, things that, Thanksgiving's going to be coming up next month. And that's kind of really the time people are buying things. So now that they've, set the date and it's on pre-order, everyone could buy it, and then people get their gift on January 10th, like the rest of us, the rest of the world. And so it is just fantastic. I am just like, oh my goodness. Again, I hadn't paid attention to, how fast books get there. And actually I forgot to look it up. Maybe I should have looked it up to see what's the fastest book to reach number one. But I know Prince Harry can make the claim that mine got there in less than 24 hours. So there. It is just fantastic. And I saw one tweet, and I didn't get a chance to look it up and to see what store or what book outlet this was, but they had already run out of the pre-order. I guess everybody is allotted a certain number of books, and they had already run out of their pre-orders and had to restock their pre-orders. So, and I didn't look and see which outlet that was. But I mean, I'm a Kindle person, Kindle and audiobook person, so I don't think there's a chance of that running out. Yeah, obviously it's online, so it's not gonna run out. But it is amazing. I am just the world is exciting. And of course, listening to the royal reporters, today I was very interested in to see like some of their commentary. And of course, they're doing what we thought they would do, doing everything they can to disparage and to claim that it's only because Harry wants money to make money and to make money off the royal family and all of this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? You make that money, Harry. You make that money off of them, because royal reporters have been making money off of your life forever, since you were born and before you were born. You make that money. They all make money off of the royal family. And it's all of us about, oh, they want to commercialize the royal family, whatever. Prince Charles has the Duchy of Cornwall. He's been making money off of his royal status forever. The queen, with all her horse racing and all the products that she used to sell, including socks and ketchup, they were all profiting from their royal status. You make that money. That's what I say. You know, you become billionaires and let them sit there and be like, oh, they're only doing it for money. So what? The rest of them are doing it for money. So why shouldn't Harry and Meghan do it for money? You know, and I know Harry and Meghan are all, you know, they're about giving back, giving some of the money to charity and all of that stuff. I hope they keep a lot of that money. You know, yes, give it to charity and help and support. But I hope they don't feel pressured or feel like, oh my gosh, I have to, you know, to give it. Look, you make that billions. They're doing it and nobody cares. They only care because there's a woman with black blood is also making money. That's why they care, you know. So I'm like, as Trevor Noah said to Barack Obama, make that money. So that's where I stand on that. Just throw it in their face too while you're at it. Elaine, thank you so much for your super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate your always supporting. I am telling you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, and if Amazon isn't, you know, if Amazon isn't enough, oh, I just like, hang on. The same thing is happening. Amazon Kindle, you know, Amazon Kindle, which is my thing. It's also number one for Amazon Kindle as well. And also Barnes and Noble if Barnes and Noble is where you buy a book, it's also number one. It's number one there. And Top Books is also number one. It's just number one everywhere. It is number one everywhere. And I am absolutely it's awesome. It is absolute. I can only imagine Harry yesterday or today. Like he woke up. Well, you know, it's 12. Oh, okay. So it's about 9 something, almost 10 in California right now. So he is probably woke up this morning a bestseller in one day. And it's just like, and it's just amazing. And I think the thing that everyone, so many people, and I saw a lot of, and I should have brought this in too, a lot of authors have been commenting about just the name, just Spare. And I think that's the thing that's been stopping even people who are not interested at all in royal family stuff, royal anything, they are all just like, wow, that name is amazing. That name, you know. And it's a thing that is, you know, again, it's a name that's thrown right back at those royals who used to royal commentators and royal family who used to throw that name at him to diminish and demean him, and to have him just put it there in their faces is like stop them all dead in their tracks. And they're all commenting on that name, Spare, you know. And I love it. And so many people who are, again, normally are not into any of this drama, it's just that the name, the picture, the whole thing is just oof. So, but you know, as is always, when you give the British press time, they're going to frame this in a billion different ways and try to muddy this in every kind of way, you know, including like, oh, the royal, their legal team, their lawyers are standing by to do what exactly? You want to come after Harry? I don't think the royal family would ever dare to come after Harry. I mean, yeah, shillings will be waiting for y'all. Try that. Really, try it. You know, the Daily Mail will try their mess. So, anyways, let's see. Amazing. And it's so funny. When I love how Meghan's friends have all embraced Harry. This is on the left. It's Daniel Martin tweeting out the Spare. And also this man, a lot of people, whether they're entrepreneurs or authors and stuff, a lot of them have been commenting, but I just picked this one coming in. It says, this man, John R. Dallas Jr., totally not royalist or any of that stuff, But he says for many years, Prince Harry is a vocal advocate for higher principles and ethical practices of individualism, entrepreneurialism, and capitalism. His authenticity speaks volume to all generations, particularly among emerging leaders who prefer his life-hewn grit and candor. And he is an entrepreneur and a leader and whatever, all this stuff. And he's also an author. And so I appreciated that. I appreciated, see someone who is not, a royalist, and it's totally from a business perspective, just commenting just on who Harry is. It's like, it's who he is. He is authentic, and and he talks about his authenticity speaks volumes to all generations. And I appreciate people like that who is not into this whole thing, and they're just seeing Prince Harry as the man he is, the businessman, and and someone who, for some strange reason, people on Shutter Island have completely missed and don't know at all. Even though he's been with them for 36 years, they still have no idea who this man is. It's unbelievable. And so I am so happy he is doing this book, although they're like, why is he doing this book? Why? And it's just like, well, because y'all don't know him. That's the point. You all been saying lies about this man. So, and R.S. Locke, who Royal Suitor, who is a Scottish, she's also a freelance journalist as well. She has a whole thread of Harry with the book cover from different countries. I only pulled in 4, and there, obviously we know that this is going to be translated into 16 different languages. So I only pulled in 4, and if you are on Twitter, definitely check out her Twitter feed, because she has a whole thread of all of these different covers, and this is one is from France here that I just pulled in 4 again, Hungary, Swedish, and Finnish, and all the different ways that they interpret spare. French is the substitute, well, Hungarian is spare, in Swedish it's the second, and Finnish is deputy. And so it's very interesting to see it in all. I am not even going to try to say because I'm sure I'll say it wrong in to pronounce it spare in these languages. But again, on her Twitter feed so I appreciated her doing that, just to see it. And it's just so stark to see it in different languages. And it's just like, oh my gosh, this is a big deal. This is awesome. This book cover is amazing. So yeah, I just thought it was really, really interesting and amazing to see it as this way. But again, if you're on Twitter, definitely jump over to R.S. Locke's her Twitter feed, and her Twitter page, I should say, and you'll see all of the covers there. It was just too much to bring in all of them. I was just like, you can just go and find them. I'll actually put a link. It's not there now, but I'll put a link in the show notes that you can you can grab it. And she also posted this, and I was just like, yep, this is so true. See, I'm on RS Lock today. It's like, the firm's problem is that the spare is still the main character or the star of the show. And aptly put, and if you guys remember this Sunday Times article by Roy Anika, and this was literally the title, is The Other Brother. The spare is the star, and the future is the other brother. And literally, that's how it is. No matter what the palace wants to say, and say line of succession, all that mess, this is literally how it is. The spare is the star, and the future is the other. It's just, everything is backwards. And so I love it. I absolutely, absolutely love it, And as we know, don't be surprised, that whatever William and they are trying to do, I'm sure they'll try to come up with something to, again, he's on vacation, but just trying to act like he's doing something, which we know he's not. So, and I was trying to find this yesterday, the photographer who took Harry the cover for Harry, and I couldn't find it, and so I was trying to hold back until and it was just like, Petal, you could have just gone on her Instagram page, and it's like, duh, it It didn't even dawn on me, you know. And yeah, it's Ramona Rosales, and yeah, a Latina. She's the one that took Harry's photo, and she's the same one that took Meghan's photo for photos. Actually, did Meghan's photo shoot for Variety, and so this is her at the bottom. You know, Prince Harry by me, photo by me, and also Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle by me. And obviously, you know, one of the things I talked about yesterday as a photographer, you notice people, their lighting, and she has that sort of like, I think of it as a god light at the top. So you see that light shining down, it gives you that sort of like angelic kind of glow. And so and it's so I checked out her website, and her photos are amazing. She does a lot of photography for different magazines, and a lot of photos in there are like that, where she has that angelic light or god light from the top coming shining down, and I can see it here. It's like Meghan looks like an, you know, fairy angel. um but and you can, if you see like the colors, the palette is sort of the same. And so yeah, it's like her work is definitely, you can tell. So, and it's great that Harry and Meghan chose the same person to do their photography, and to do their photos. And yeah, I was like, yeah. I love it. And she's getting so much compliment for both of those shoots, you know. And again, if her link, I already put the link in the show notes, so you can check out her stuff. But she is really good. She's some really, really cool shots in there. So, and as a photographer, I appreciate that. I absolutely, absolutely appreciate that. But again, RS Locke, who's been the last couple of days my savior, she's the one that alerted, and I had sent to her, like, you know, where did you find that it's Ramona? Because I couldn't find the receipts, and I'm always needing the receipts. So it was great to just realize, like, oh, just go to Instagram. I'm sure she has an Instagram account. So there we go. So kudos, Ramona. Fantastic job. Um, and moving on, again, if you have not voted, or, you know, for Meghan, as you know, Meghan is nominated, her podcast Archetypes is nominated for a People's Choice Award in the Pop Podcast of 2022, along with, you know, as you can see, yes, 7 others. So if you haven't voted, go on there. The link is in the show notes already. Go on there, vote. You can vote, I think, up to 25 times a day. That's it. I mean, it's the People's Choice. So just go in there and knock yourselves out. Voting up to, and you can vote every single day, 25 times a day. Go in there and vote. And then, you know, let's make sure Meghan wins the People's Choice Awards. And so, yeah, it's just a free for all with this sort of thing. But it's just fun. It's an amazing, you know, amazing for Meghan to be, you know, nominated. And hopefully, I mean, I don't know what other awards, podcast awards there are, because I had never paid attention to it before. This is the first time I was like, oh, I didn't even realize People's Choice had a podcast award. First time hearing about it. So so please, please, please vote. When you go on, just look for exactly where it's circled, you know, pop culture, pop podcast, and obviously Archetypes. Please go vote. Don't vote for other people, because I think that'll cancel out your vote. Just vote for Meghan. And again, I think you can vote like 25 times a day, every day. So knock yourselves out with the vote. So let's just make sure that she wins that. So, and as we, you know, the 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, where Meghan's episode was about bimbo, the bimbo trope, and there was this ruckus with Whoopi Goldberg and her nonsense, and that other cloud chasing woman from Deal or No Deal coming at Meghan, and then there was this sort of fake outrage nonsense, and I'm so happy that Meghan never. Oh, thank you so much. Before I get there, Lydia actually posted the link in the chat. So yep, yeah, thank you so much, our awesome moderator Lydia. So if you don't want to go to the our show notes at the second, here's the link in there. Just jump on Lydia's post and you can just copy that and you can go vote for Meghan. So that's awesome. Thank you so much, our awesome moderator Lydia. But anyway, going back to the story, so normally I don't usually use the Us Weekly because it's a tabloid. It's if if you're not in the US, this is a US tabloid, and I tend to avoid them because they always claim, oh, a friend of Meghan, and it's just like, Meghan doesn't talk to you. You don't have any sources, so shush. It's like the US and their fake sources, and so but they always claim that they have a friend in the palace or a friend of the Sussexes, and it's just total lies. But I'm using them today because they actually spoke to Howie Mandel. So I was like, all right, I guess I gotta, they actually literally spoke to him. And so this is the story. So we know that, one of those cloud chasing girls from the show was coming at Meghan, and basically, actually two or three of them actually came out and said, no, that was not their experience, which is fine. People could say it's not their experience, but they were coming at Meghan like, she was attacking the show, which, if they actually listened to the episode, that is false. And so, they didn't listen. They just saw a tabloid headline and went. It is the same thing, I think, with Whoopi Goldberg. They got a clip of it in a soundbite, and they went with that, not listening to the whole episode. And it's very clear from that they didn't listen to it. And so that was just the annoying thing about this. And so, and there was even a video that came out with Howie Mandel asking some of the girls to, even though they were wearing dresses, like these little dresses, like, oh, you can kick. And so, I mean, what do you think will happen when you kick and these girls are wearing these little dresses? You expose yourself on camera. And so the girl, they were kind of like, just sort of, awkwardly like, no, we don't want to do that. It's a PG show and all of that stuff. I didn't really make much of it. I was like, I'm done with this. But Us Weekly had this interview and they spoke to Howie about it. It seems like they are just, they would not let go of this story. But, this is what it says. It says, not a big deal. Howie Mandel doesn't understand the big fuss being made around Meghan Markle's comments about her experience on Deal or No Deal. Meghan Markle's Archetype podcast, big revelations. That's, that was the thing. It's Howie says, I get it because I've never said this before, but they had this pyramid of 26 beautiful, intelligent women standing there and staring at me like I was a piece of meat. The game show host 66 exclusively told Us Weekly on yesterday, October 27, while promoting his partnership with Issa. I was in the center, just dressed up in this suit, and I felt like I was more, and I felt like I am more than this. And they would just look at me, and I had nothing. And another part of it, he says, Mandel, for his part, opened up about his own experience, telling us that he was only there to tell the women to open up cases. I get it. I felt nothing, the Canadian native recalled. And that's why I moved on and became the judge of America's Got Talent. I needed more than to be a Deal or No Deal host. However, the process, Mandel said the game show set was a great workplace environment and defended the suit's alum, pointing out that she didn't say she didn't say it was a bad place to work. The way I view it, the Archwell co-founder was only talking about what was going on in her mind. And so it's very interesting to me that, again, how we talked about feeling like with just, him standing there with the only thing, for him saying, asking people to open a briefcase, he felt like with them staring at him, he felt like a piece of meat. He also goes on to say, he said, I felt like nothing. And that's why I moved on and became a judge of America's Got Talent. I just needed more than to be a Deal or No Deal host. He feels like he can give more, definitely more on America's Got Talent because he gets to work with artists and all of those things. And it's basically the same thing Meghan was saying. She wasn't criticizing the show per se. She's just saying, this is how I felt. And it's very interesting to me that Meghan is here advocating for women and advocating for women to be, respected more, not just for their looks, but also for their brains as well, and wanting more for women than just to be objectified for their bodies or their looks and whatever. And she's doing it, she's advocating for women, yet it's the women that were attacking her. And the person that understood the nuance of what she was saying was the man. It is just so interesting to me that he understood what it felt like to feel like a piece of meat. He understood what it felt like to feel like, I am more than this. I have more to give than this. I want more for myself. And it's just so interesting that he was so much in touch with his emotions and his feelings and what he wanted for himself than the women that Meghan was literally advocating for. And so, and again, to hear Whoopi Goldberg and these other clout chasing people, and this is how you could tell Howie Mandel actually listened to the podcast. He actually listened. And that's how I knew that those people didn't listen. They didn't listen to the podcast. They just took a headline and ran with it, And, for him to get to the point, he's like, no, that's not what she's saying. She's not criticizing. He was the host, by the way. He was the host of Deal or No Deal. And he's saying, no, she's not criticizing the show. The show was a great workplace. But she's just she's just telling you what was going on in her mind and how she felt. It's not the show. It's just how she felt. And it's the same way he's expressing. He isn't criticizing the show, as he says, it was a great workplace. But he still felt like a piece of meat. He still felt like he was nothing. And he still felt like, you know what? I am better than this. I can do more than this. I want more for myself, And so, again, it's just so wild that she's advocating for these clout chasing women who she literally called, incredibly intelligent and lauding them. Yet 3 of them decide, no, let me pretend, whatever, and go after her and claim that she was attacking the show. And it's just really, hi. And I'm just glad that Meghan don't respond to these things. And I'm sure she trusts that eventually common sense will wear out. And you want to know what will happen with this? Nothing. I guarantee you the majority of people will not pick up the story. Why? Because it goes against the narrative that they want to tell about Meghan. The majority of people are going to ignore this. I'm sure those women who attack Meghan are not going to be tweeting about this. They're not going to be tweeting about it. And so I'm like, Meghan, that's why she just got to do what she got to do. And you get what you get from it, and she moves on. I am so happy she doesn't respond to nonsense, but it's just, anyways. Moving on. Actually, let's, Lucy Winfield's different. She's like, I feel Howie is strolling, whether he's strolling or not. But it's like, that's definitely another way of thinking. Because part of it, he said he felt like a bimbo. But, part of it, but at least he is acknowledging that, which is the big thing. It's like, oh, Meghan was attacking the show when she was not. She was not. So, anyways. Moving on. Let's just change just a little bit of a change music for a second before... there we go. Thunder. And again, I can't hear that. It's just me a break from the nonsense. And we're going to jump over the Shutter Island for a second. And I'm going to come right back because, we want to highlight there, a little bit of nonsense too. After we come back, after we, take a break from Harry and Meghan for a second. So obviously, with the book, everyone is sort of obviously talking about the book. And, as we can see from the Daily Mail headline here, And for me, what is interesting about this headline is the one in green. And it's funny because whenever the British press want to hide something, and they want to claim, they want to claim, no, 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 we didn't hide it. We put it there. It's on our front page. Didn't you see it? Is where how they hide things in plain sight. Putting a huge thing about Harry's raw and unflinching book, and in green you have your King Charles revealed in court, photo of Charles and money launderer. Now, I haven't even had a chance to go in and see what the story is about Charles and the new money laundering stuff. But it's kind of how I always laugh at how they try to bury things. How they bury articles in plain sight. Because when you see Prince Harry and his raw and flinching book, chances are you're not even going to pay attention to the fact that there's a picture of Prince Charles and some money launderer again. And it's just very interesting to me how they do things in Shutter Island, and I'm sure not many people are going to pick up whatever this story is about Prince Charles and this money launderer again. Not many people are going to pick it up, because why? Everybody is focused on and trying to distract you and everyone else with Prince Harry's raw and unflinching book, But yep, that's Shutter Island. And then Prince Charles was being his horrible father self again. I'm sure you guys may have seen this. Prince Charles has decided to nominate himself to be the Captain General of the Royal Marines. As you remember, that is the position in the Royal Marines, the ceremonial role that they stripped from Prince Harry. Charles's father, Prince Philip, he had that role for years and years and years, and then he passed that role on to Prince Harry. And of course, when Prince Harry and Meghan stepped back, the royal family, for no reason at all, decided to be nasty and petty and strip him of this one. This is one of the military honors that he was stripped of. And so what does Prince Charles do? They decided to nominate and put himself as the Captain General of the Royal Marines. And not only did he put himself there, as Peter Hunt, you can see on the side, says, quite a feat to airbrush out your father and your son. Prince Philip and Prince Harry were the previous incumbents and merits no mention. And what he's talking about, if you look at the press release, Prince Charles in his press release completely ignores the fact that his own father and son were in this role before him. It's like, His Majesty the King will serve the ceremonial head of the Royal Marines, taking on the role of Captain General, and the announcement came on the 58th anniversary of the founding of the Corps of Royal Marines, which has been formed on the 28th of October, 1964, during the reign of King Charles. And it goes on in the third paragraph. It says, the appointment of the ceremonial head of the Royal Marines has historically been held by the monarch, including the king's grandfather and great-grandfather. Notice who is missing from all of that. His father, Prince Philip, and his son, Prince Harry. And it's just like, are you serious? Yes, Prince Charles is that petty. And, if you need to read the whole thing, I'll post it in our community page if you want to read it. It's a little bit lengthy. But yeah, he left out literally, and then this is what the royal family do a lot. They airbrush things out. They've been trying to airbrush Princess Diana out of the royal history. They're trying to airbrush, now I guess he's trying to airbrush his own father, and they've definitely been trying to airbrush Harry and Meghan out of stuff. But it's kind of like, how do you put, like, the people who used to hold this title were your grandfather and great-grandfather, and completely leave out the fact that your father and son and maybe he was upset when Prince Philip gave that role to Harry instead of him. But I'm like, the two people who actually served in the war. But anyways, that's petty Prince Charles. And as I mentioned, moving on, as I mentioned yesterday, Scobie wrote an article. It's a little bit different, about, we know that the Shutter Island and the Palace have been going on and on and on about the crown. Like, hello, this has been how many years now this thing has been on? But they're acting like it's the first time they've heard of the crown, and the first time the crown is writing something that's, that's slightly controversial or whatever. But so Scobie is right. This whole article is about the fact that, look, you are the press, the British press and the royal family is to blame for what, for any content basically that's in the crown. The same content that they're screaming about, all of that stuff came from the royal family themselves and the press. So then it is a little hypocritical and stupid for them to be claiming that, oh my gosh, I can't believe the crown is writing this stuff. This should not be. It's fictional and all of this nonsense, when all of that information has literally come from the press and the palace. And so he's talking about, and I've seen it, you guys have seen it, where it seems like every weekend in the UK, there's some other documentary about, whether it's the palace, whether it's the Sussexes, just about every weekend, it seems like there's some documentary or another about, the royal family in some way. And so Scobie's writing, he says, documentaries like these are often billed as factual entertainment. But take a closer look at the type of claims that gets aired, some of which become online clickbait the following day. You'll find that a lot of the content sits closer to the fiction character. Without sounding dramatic, many of these supposedly authoritative specials have become super spreaders of misinformation on royal beat. But you're unlikely to hear any complaint about them. Right now, the energy for all is aimed at the crown, which is less than 2 weeks away from its season 5 premiere. He goes on to talk, he says, as easy as it is to throw blame at producers and writers working on Peter Morgan's creation, is it actually warranted? A closer look at some of those breathlessly criticized plot lines in the forthcoming episode reveal that a lot of them is currently being called into question by the media. A lot of them are currently being called into question by the media, actually originated in the same media outlets currently leading the onslaught. Outrage, top right, outrage over a storyline involving rumors of an inappropriate friendship between the late Prince Philip and Penny Knockbull has also been loud in the press. Some newspapers have done nothing to prevent such rumors spreading by writing suggestive stories, the Daily Mail, about countless regular visits to his Sandringham home, how his flirty bond with the aristocrat kept him young, and details of their highly personal friendship. Yep, a lot of this, the Daily Mail, especially when Prince Philip died. And around her funeral, the Daily Mail were writing all of these articles because we talked about them on this podcast. And finally, he says, because while the Crown scripted dialogue comes straight from the writer's room, and you'd be a fool to treat it as a historical documentary, the majority of the jaw droppers in the plot come courtesy of the royal family and the press. And for those, they have no one to blame but themselves. And so I am glad Scobie is calling out the royal family and the press for their fake outrage, because again, a lot of this stuff we've read in the press. We talked about some of this stuff right here. I remember during Prince Philip's funeral, the Daily Mail in particular kept writing all of these suggestive articles about Prince Philip's relationship with her, and even goading the royal family into making sure that she was one of the 30 that was invited to that church. And yet the Daily Mail and the other tabloids are right now like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they were doing this. I can't believe they would do this to the Queen, whatever. Yet all of these articles and innuendos and all of this gossip has come directly from them. And so I'm just happy Scobie is calling out their nonsense, because that is what it is. It is flat out nonsense. So anyway, I'm going to jump in the chat. I've been talking too much. I'm going to jump in the chat and see what you guys are saying about all this mess. Let's see. Joanna says, Whoopi is the worst. She is a hitman against regular people. That is her position on the show. You know, Whoopi, I expect so much better from her, but it seems like she opens her mouth and just, I'm like, girl, maybe think before you speak. Just that, just take a minute, think before you speak, so it's like such a disappointment with Whoopi Goldberg. Felicia says, it means he was jealous when his father transferred the role to Prince Harry. I think he was as well. For you to just leave your father out of this, and I'm just gonna land on this page, which is my favorite picture of Harry and Meghan, so we're just gonna stay here for a bit. But yeah, for him to leave his father and his son out, who held the role right before you took it, and only mention his grandfather or grandfather, that is stupid and petty. That is so stupid. Again, erasing them from his history. He did not have no matter what people say, he never had a great relationship with his father. Of course, we know in Jonathan Dimbleby's book, he trashed his father, calling him a bully and abusive, and forcing him to marry Princess Diana, as he claims, a woman he didn't love. I mean, he went after his father. They'd never had a great relationship. And obviously, you look at documentary, if you believe, as we're just talking about these documentaries, there's a documentary with Penny Jr. talking about how Prince Philip bullied Prince Charles. So yeah, they never had a good relationship. So, so I guess he's trying to write him out of his history. Madwell says exactly, Charles didn't trash his family in the book. He just wrote the truth about them. There you go. Well, some people think trash because every time, Harry and Meghan say anything, they claim Harry and Meghan are trashing the royal family. So my thing is, well, if they're trashing the royal family, what do you call what Prince Charles did to his family? And again, he co-wrote that book with Jonathan Dimbleby, and he didn't apologize. He felt no apology for writing that book. So there you go. Marjorie says, Harry's not like them, so I don't think he'll trash anyone. He may throw shades, though. I don't think Harry and Meghan have never trashed the royal family. That's the thing. They, we just looked at, they just literally said, this is the truth. And for those in Shutter Island, it's always, they can't deal with the truth. So anytime you bring up the truth to them, for them is, you're trashing me. You're trashing the royal family. How dare you make the queen feel this way? How dare you make the king feel this way? How dare you trash us and call us rape? I mean, it's just like, so for them, it's always like, you speak the truth, and for them, you're trashing the royal family. People just don't like the truth. Joy Bell says, it's like when Meghan stands up to Kate when she said she gave her flowers and the press came after Meghan. Exactly. And that's, again, was that white woman's tears thing. They always want to make, Kate. Kate always has to be the victim. She always has to be the one that cries. So when Meghan corrected that old narrative, the press came and said, how dare you attack Kate? And it's just like, 3 years you've been attacking Meghan because of that? Did you forget that part? No, it's just, angry black woman trope again. Annie says, hi, Annie Bullard. Annie says, regardless of what the people say on Shutter Island, Harry is telling his life in one word, spare. Exactly. Shutter Island is losing their minds, and we'll see in real time. I love it, and I do as well. I love watching them because, they don't like the truth because they can't handle the truth. And I just butchered that. You can't handle the truth. They can't. And that's why they are angry. And trying they're basically trying to put themselves or frame themselves as victims of the Sussexes. And I'm like, you bullying, abusive monsters are trying to frame yourself as you are victims of someone. Like, no, the world has been asleep while you've been bullying Harry and Meghan for the past 6 years. We've been asleep, unreal. Charlie says, he says, she's talking to Mad World. To them, the truth is not in them. It is interpreted as evil. Most of his truth, without any palace sources, is the empirical truth, will dissect his book ad nauseum. Yes, very, very true. Absolutely true. There is no truth in them. So yeah, when they hear truth, it's like, we're being attacked, Diamond, she's talking. She says, King Charles III is a sad, bitter man. He is just angry that he can no longer control the spare. I mean, the whole monarchy is like that, right? They are all like that, and also the press. They're not used to people standing up to them. They're used to people cowering. One of the only people who has really stood up to the press is Hugh Grant, who calls them out on the daily. And those folks at Byline Investigates, the majority of people cower when the press comes at them, definitely cower when the royal family comes at them. They are not used to not being in control, and they're not used to not being controlling someone in the royal family. So this is new territory for them. So yeah, and yeah, Prince Charles is talk about petty, man. It's just like, ooh. I mean, he still has not given that role to his own brother, Prince Edward, because he's not doing anything with the title. Why is Prince Edward still not in that role of Duke of Edinburgh? And again, him and Edward have never had a great relationship. Actually, it seems like other than Princess Anne, Charles has not had a good relationship with his siblings at all. And so, yeah. Let's see. Church Nelly, Lydia says, yes, Church Nelly, cut her off and disagreed aggressively with her and the panel. Okay, I'm missing part of this conversation. I'm assuming you're talking about The View, but we'll come back and see if we get more context about what Lydia is saying to Church Nelly as we eavesdrop on their conversation. Our awesome moderators having a conversation. Gail Anita 1. Hi, Gail Anita 1. How are you? Gail says, Charles wants all the titles. He was supposed to give over the Duke of Edinburgh's title to Edward, and he kept that to himself. He is one lonely, sad man. Yes, and petty, if I may add to that, Gail. It is just like, I'm like, you gave William, and Kate, their Prince and Princess of Wales title. You gave them the Cornwall title. So why didn't you just give Edward a title? We're not even talking about, say, our little ones, Archie and Lily, but that's your brother. That title is, the Queen, approved that's why she wanted that title. Your father said the same thing. That's who he wanted the title. Why is he holding on to this title from Edward? It's almost like Edward needs to prove himself to Charles or suck up to Charles because, Harry refused to. So Charles is like one of those people. He's one of those people. He's not important or feel important unless you bow down before him. Unless you are on your knees, he does not seem to feel important. And it's just like, dude, you have a whole lot of problems. Unreal. B10 Pound said, the women who attack Meghan are jealous. That's it. Jealous and cloud chasing. So, definitely. Joy says, whatever decision Charles makes, he's looking more petty and petty. All we have to do is sit back and watch Charles self-destruct. And at some point, it's going to be like, you really want this petty person as your leader? This petty, unelected person as your head of state? Unbelievable. Hi, Nash. Nash says, Prince Harry has moved on. He doesn't even care about this titles and what's going on in Shutter Island. He definitely, I know, he, when it first happened, of course, he was devastated because it meant a lot to him. And of course, and again, his was something that was given to him by his grandfather. But, it doesn't take away from the fact, his military service and his honor in the military. That, I mean, again, there's a ceremony, that's a ceremonial role. But of course, it meant a lot to him because, again, it was something given to him by his grandfather that was taken away. And if I may be both, and of course, I don't know this, but part of me feels like, what? That was Charles's doing. Charles is like, I want that role. And judging from his behavior, now it's like, are you the one that really pushed to get that role taken away so you can get it? So anyways, petty, petty, petty. I'm petty too, but not that petty. I'm going to put myself in a different category of petty. If I could do that. As I condemn him and did not look at my own self. It's like, Pedal, look in the mirror. You're petty as well. But I'm not petty against I don't have kids, but I wouldn't be petty against my own kid and my own father, So, well, let's see. Maybe I could be petty against my father. I don't know. I wouldn't be petty against my mom is going to be like, what? What do you mean you're going to be petty against your father? So, sorry, Mom. I was kidding. Sash says Harry doesn't give a flying flip about those useless titles, aka window dressing. They certainly are. They definitely don't measure up to what Harry is doing now that actually means something. But again, those are his peeps in the military, and he still has Invictus and he still has his relationship. So it goes way beyond those titles. So yeah. Let's see. Joy says Harry's book will not trash anyone in that family. He shares his feelings about situations and how he felt, but he's not going to trash any except the media and the men in gray. That's very true. You know what? Because Scobie talks about that. Whatever inside information Scobie had, he said a lot of his book is going to be the people that he's going to really go after is those in the media. And that's why I think the media right now is trying to frame that book as Harry and Meghan are going to trash the royal family, because what they're trying to do right now is groom their audience. To groom them into, attacking Harry and Meghan, supposing, especially, Harry really in this book, that he is going against the family, so that when it comes out, that it's against the press, people would be so amped up about anything Harry says about the family, they will focus on that and not the fact that Harry is going after the press. It's amazing. They are expert at grooming their audience. That's the one thing with the British press. They groom, especially the British tabloids. They know their audience are stupid enough to believe them, and they are masters at grooming them to believe exactly what they want them to believe. And on January 10th, don't be surprised if more people are focused on whatever little Harry says about the family than the fact that Harry going after the press. They did the same thing with the Me You Can See. They did the very same thing with that. Let's say. Wendy says Charles looks more petty and foolish. Not a good look for a king at all. King, father, whatever it is, not a good look. Let's see. Nah says the drama that's going on that island is insane. Well, I guess a normal day, because there's always drama over there. It's just a normal day with royalists on Shutter Island. And again, when we say, when I say Shutter Island, I'm just talking about royalists and the press and stuff. There are normal, right-thinking people in the UK. I'm specifically speaking when I say in terms of, say, Shutter Island, whatever, I'm specifically speaking about the insane press, right-wing British press, especially royal reporting, and their crazy royalists who believe all the nonsense that they write and spew that back on social media, whatever platform they're on. C-Mac says Charles is still a bruised little crybaby boy who hates the fact that he never measured up. He just so happened to be handed the title. Otherwise, he would be he would have been irrelevant. And I think, the thing with the royal family, even with Prince Charles and how he was raised and all of that stuff, my thing with it is Charles is, he's like a product of the environment that he was raised in, and all of this stuff goes back to how you raise children and the environment that you put them in, where someone would grow up feeling that, quote unquote irrelevant, or that, you know devoid of love. Like, I mean, again, what he wrote, in the book with Jonathan Dimbleby, are just about, the queen's being emotionally distant, and Prince Philip being abusive, and all of those things, they play a role into his insecurity. He is a very, very insecure man. He's like, you talk about a man baby. He's incredible. It's like that insecure boy never grew up. Like, the physical man is there, but that insecurity, the incompetence, or what, all of those things he was feeling as a little kid, it just never grew. He never matured, and so he still has those things. And that's the thing that I am so happy that Harry has broke up. I mean, you see that same behavior in Prince William. And that's why it's so important that Harry has broken out of that and has just broke that cycle, where he can learn to emotionally grow. These people are emotionally stunted. And that's why the monarchy, and they are the way they are. They're not going to change. They're not going to change. And it's like, that's why the whole, it's like, abolish it. If they refuse to, I mean, can they change? I don't think they can. Not at 75 and 76, whatever his age is right now. It's like they're not going to change, and it's unreal. And again, I am very, very happy Harry has broken out and broken that cycle. So, Maverick says, "Hey, Maverick." Says, King Charles has come out of our mouths as we gag. Okay. Not sure what you mean, but it's not a good thing. Pedal, we can't say Prince Charles anymore. That's right. I keep forgetting. It's going to take me a while to just my brain to just connect, if I'm not really thinking about it, to say King Charles. But you're right, he is King Charles. I am so trained. I think my mind is so trained on Prince Charles so I apologize. I meant King Charles, that King Charles III to be exact. And that's who I mean. So I apologize. He is King Charles. I apologize. Let's see. Scrolling up. Cookies and cream, or some moderator says, she's talking to Victoria Fabre. I says, the racist press is definitely on a mission to take Meghan down. The receipts about no deal or no deal should be plastered all over social media and trend. Meghan is owed an apology. It won't. They won't. And, I just brought it up here. I just found it interesting that the person who is, understanding where she's coming from was the guy, as opposed to the girls that she was advocating for. And so it's just like, it's a little bit, backwards there in a way, but, and again, Meghan doesn't need validation from any of those people. She said what she said, she knew what she said, and we know what she said, because we listened and we paid attention to what she said. And there, Meghan has been in Hollywood long enough, and she's been in the entertainment business long enough. And she, again, had a social media presence and a platform. So she knows that those criticisms and people are going to deliberately misquote her and all of those things and come at her. So, again, I am happy that they are not on social media, so they don't have to deal with any of that mess. But she doesn't need validation from any of those people. She is, as she says, all of that stuff goes down the same drain, and she is good. She is good about in herself. So yeah. Those people will never claim, they will never admit they're wrong. They'll just ignore it. So let's see. Moving up. Maggie Howell says, Harry is still part of the family. I don't think he will trash them. And again, Harry and Meghan have never trashed anyone. So we put that out plain and simple. They have not trashed anyone in any of the interviews they have done. They have not trashed anyone. They simply spoke the truth. They simply said, this is what this is what was done to us. This is how we felt about it. That is not trashing people. Speaking the truth about your personal experience or your personal feelings is not trashing someone, And so, yeah, he's going to speak the truth. Shutter Island would obviously take it as, oh, he's trashing the royal family because they are the eternal victims, And so, yeah, they have not trashed anyone. In any of the interviews that they've done, they have not trashed anyone. Calling out racism is not trashing someone. Saying that the royal family did not, attend to her mental health or help her is not trashing. It's just speaking the truth. They have never done it. Whether it's Margaret, Diana, Meghan, they have never, or Fergie, who've all called, it's very public knowledge. None of this, people are like, oh my gosh, it's a new teaching. It's the truth. Again, they don't like the truth. Sasha says, wow, Harry actually listened to the podcast and say him a better response than those who called cloud chasing. Yeah, I mean, like we said the last time, I mean, you could tell who listened to the podcast and who didn't, because if you listened, you wouldn't come out with those stupid arguments that they were coming out with. They didn't listen. They got a soundbite or they saw a tabloid headline, which usually twists things. So yeah. Gail says, it's like a battered wife syndrome. You're being oppressed and abused, but to upkeep appearances, you maintain the status quo and think you can't escape it. Yet you criticize the ones who do. Very true. Very true. Let's see. Marcel says, I bought my book yesterday at Barnes & Nobles. Awesome, Marcel. I'm an Amazon person, so I got mine at Amazon. And yep, I'm getting the Kindle and the audio because I have Audible, so I'm gonna hear, because I just want to hear Harry say his own words. That for me would be so powerful. Jody says, Harry believes is the decent thing to do. Character builds the man. There you go. It sure does. Verda. Hi, Verda Sanchez. How are you? Verda says, they did not know why this person did what they did, but they do have them in custody, and they said it happened right around midterm election. So I don't know what that means, but the FBI is on it. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Verder. I'm assuming you're talking about Nancy Pelosi's husband, who apparently got beaten up, and people are saying it's a Jussie Smollett situation. I don't know. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. If not, correct me. Let's see. You have to tell me how to say this. Is Thingit Maiden? I hope I'm saying it right. Klingit Maiden says, I have liked Howie from the early days, and it's nice to see men don't like feeling like a piece of meat also. It's so funny. I've heard quite a couple of men really make that statement, like, they felt like they did not like it. Some men love the attention and all of that stuff, but there are some men it's like, no, I don't, and I appreciate that. Absolutely. Because nobody wants to feel, at least a lot of people don't like feeling. I certainly wouldn't want to feel that way. So yeah. Mara, hi Mara. She says, Paddle, these three girls mentally belong in the kind of show for the rest of their lives, not Meghan. And there's a thing about it. There's nothing wrong if that's something that you want. And, for some of them, that's the highlight of their life. And that's fine. That is nothing wrong with that. If that is something that, some people feel like, oh my gosh, no, this was a fantastic stepping stone for me. Oh my goodness, it was one of the greatest experiences. That is also fine. Some people feel like, oh my God, it was such a creative place to be. It was a wonderful environment. Like Meghan, they feel like, wow, I got to pay my bills. I got, got into the union. I got insurance. I got all this stuff from it. Fine. It's also fine if someone appreciate all of those things, but also feel like, you know what? I want something more for myself. This isn't it. This is how I feel. I don't feel good when someone is telling me suck my gut. And I don't feel good when I'm, just opening a briefcase and people are, looking at me and they're just oogling me for the way I look or for the skimpy outfit I'm wearing or whatever. I don't like that feeling, even if I appreciate all these other things. I don't like that feeling. And you know what? I think I'm going to move on and do something else that would make me and help me to feel the way I want to feel. All of those things are fine. All of those things can exist together. And all of those things could be true. And all different people could have all of those different feelings and it'd be fine. But to attack someone and to deal, and to basically delegitimize someone's feelings or, to claim they're lying or shouldn't feel the way they feel about the show just because your experience is different is like, are you serious? And to see a woman do it, the very woman she's advocating for, and that is the part that really got me irritated, and knowing that they were doing it and cloud chasing. And that is just, that's the part that got me upset. But you know what? Let's move on from that. Not give it more air than it deserves. Let's see. Werner is saying, not to change this. Oh, okay. So a little bit more clarity. So it is about Nancy Pelosi's husband. She says, not to change the subject. Did you all hear that Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked in their home in California? A man broke in, beat up her husband with a hammer. Yikes. And the doctor said he was going to make it. Well, it's good that he's going to make it. It's like, okay, that is bad. So, and it's, Twitter being what Twitter is, people are claiming because election is coming around, people are claiming they believe that it's a Jussie Smollett situation where it's fake and all, obviously Twitter or social media, other social media platforms might be saying the same as well. But that is bad. That is bad. And I'm assuming he is an elderly person because Nancy Pelosi is, she's up there in age. So that is just, So hopefully I'm glad that he is going to make it. That is, somebody break into your sanctuary and that's, oh God. Anyway, let's move on. See a couple more before we end. Wendy says, these are the facts. Prince Harry's success, Sentibali, Invictus, Archwell, Travelers, NAACP Award, Ripple of Hope Award, Mental Health docu-series, The Me You Can See, William, 0, or probably half. Half for the Earthshot mess. I would say I'm a little more generous, Wendy. Half. Just a little more generous. Wendy's like, nope, it's 0. I love it. I love us. I love our pettiness. Let's see. Let's see more. C-Max says, slaves don't recognize bondage. IJS? I'm not sure what IJS is. Oh, some slaves don't. Yes, very true. Some don't. That is very, very true. I.e. those on Shutter Island. Things like, no, we're not enslaved. Oh, no, we're not, when Harry said, no, we were behind basically prison walls. I'm like, no. But um, let's see. Scrolling up for a couple. Oh, before I forget, let's see. Let me get this. CMAC, where is this thing? I had this. Um, so sometimes this thing it jumps and I can't find what I just click. And here we go, CMAC. Thank you very much. I have to get rid of that. But because yesterday I inadvertently blamed Church Nelly for something that she apparently did not do, and Baron is the real culprit. I promised Church Nelly a little bit of this. So Church Nelly, this is for you, my love. And so here you go again, Church Nelly. This is for you. For me blaming you and going with Barrett and blaming you. Oh, a little bit of Prince Harry there. And there we go, Church Nelly. This is all for you. I didn't have any moonshine. I promised moonshine. Didn't have the moonshine, but I had a little bit of nacho just for you. And my deepest apologies for believing Baron. Just a little bit of nacho. So there. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. We're just gonna end it here. Our awesome moderators, thank you so much, Lydia, Church Nelly, and Nacho, Karen M, Julia Rock, Cookies and Cream. Thank you guys so much for everything that you do to make our space really amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna end this out with a little bit of music. I'm gonna bring it up again. I can't hear, so hopefully it's loud. But awesome 2 Cents Crew members. Thank you so much. I just saw we had a new member, which is going to be on our next podcast. We're going to give you a big Montecito shout out to the next podcast. But thank you so much for supporting us, supporting our channel. Thank you. Thank you also to our Gold Star supporters who support us through either PayPal, Cash App, or here, Super Chat, Super Thanks, Super Stickers, all of it. I appreciate all of you so much for all of your support. Thank you. And again, who purchased merchandise and all of that. Thank you guys so much. So I love you guys. I'm going to end this and get our music slide up a little bit. Have a fantastic day. I'll probably hang out and see you guys over at Baron and over at Duchess of Sussex later on today. But whatever you're doing, have a fantastic day. Again, our fans are doing amazing. So, they're the best. Anyway, guys, I love you all, and I will see you next time. Bye.